Good evening. This is a meeting of the Old Townhouse Committee being held in the Hampton Town Hall at 6:02 p.m. It's March 24th. March 24th. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, nation under God. Is anyone, according to Mass General Law, is anyone recording the meeting other than ourselves? Seeing no one? Good. First, I don't have any minutes to see. I'd be missing my duties. Last time there was a request from town council to look at the documents, the deed and the gift and all that stuff, and board of selectmen okayed that. They passed it on, so they get back. We got update on the survey.
We have 165 responses. I did a preliminary and that had analysis from it, but I feel like I ran it again after we got like 30 more and it changed a little bit. So now I feel like I'll just wait for this to give the full correct picture. We have a lot of responses so far.
Did that include the written? No.
It doesn't, and I checked the written ones yesterday. There's a couple at the senior center project. I thought there'd be way more than that. There's only 2 in the box. Out here, there's 1 or 2 in the box, but there's about 10 or 12 that I got from the library and gave to Heather. If that's okay with her.
I'm just gonna and again I can bring the preliminary report if you want to the next one, but there were differences in the results. And I feel like it would be accurate.
One thing I'd like to do though is I noticed some of the responses, there was questions. And I think that might be an opportunity to do some social media. If someone writes a question like, how much does it cost as it sits there? We can say it costs X number of dollars, fill out your survey, or how much does it cost a minute? That might be a way to generate some more activity with people interested prior to the community forum.
How much time before the community forum?
Well, I was going to do it the 7th, but we're closing the survey the 10th, so maybe we should go to the 14th
Of April?
of April. Well, it's 7th right after Easter too, so people are probably busy during Easter.
Because we were thinking about putting out like maybe once a week or a couple times a week, some of the facts, like you said, if people have a question, we're thinking, some have been talking about having the data given to the public a little at a time.
That's one we could respond to questions.
Like in the Times or in the Reminder?
Well, you do it all. I think we should have a public, our last meeting, we had a motion for a public awareness camp.
Right.
So we're still working on it. There's
but even like we could use social media to push it out for now.
Yeah.
Just so we're not sitting on the information. I think that's a good idea. Like, did you know like X dollars per month?
We could do something like, we're working on the survey. What are the questions frequently asked? How much does it cost? It's going to cost between X and X $1 million.
Okay.
Well, we need to make sure that number
We're good, and we're good with it.
I mean that we've been saying 7.5.
3 or you would say that we're building them out in 2023 and $7 million. So people can hopefully
I think it's going to the only concern with that, I feel like it's going to open a bunch of questions, like what is included in that, what's not included in that.
Right, and then
be able to speak to it.
Maybe you preface the statement with, this is just a budgetary number, we don't have all the facts behind it, but back in 2022, the study was done and the cost came in at X. Prevailing wages.
We should give the public this report. We should give it to them in sections.
We're going to go through the report tonight, hopefully clean it up to where we can beat them.
Yeah, we're good.
And I will say too, this section in here where we have the how to write up an RFQ, we don't need to put that. We can make it a lot shorter by pulling it out. Right, I mean, we don't need, the public doesn't need to know anything about.
No,
writing
I
it.
got 3 motions tonight.
Wait,
Oh, here we go. More motions?
Well, I hope that'll expedite.
let me say this before you do. I'm talking about questions. I've had people say to me, and I'm not real clear on this, and that's why I'm bringing it up. I've had people say to me, we had people in there, we left the town hall and now we moved from the town hall, now we can't put people back in the town hall. And that's because a change of building status.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Change of use.
Change of use.
So when somebody says, why can't we just go back in there? I don't think the building was that bad. It is that bad, and it was a change of use, and to get to the ADA fixes, we should know that number, whatever that is, 2.5 million, 3 million, whatever. And if we do the ADA fixes, we then have to do the whole thing, so we're up at the 8 or 9 million, or could we do the ADA fixes and start doing something? Probably not.
I don't think you can.
Oh,
Well, we can't think, Brian.
No, I'm telling you,
I don't the answer.
We need to know
We
that.
probably don't have to close off section.
Well, that's gonna be a question, because somebody smart is gonna say, look, why don't you do it in pieces? And I know that if you do $100,000, you gotta be all in. So the whole ADA thing would be whatever that is. I don't know that number. It's 2.5 million, 3 million. It's in the book.
I believe the proposal on that study was a phased approach.
Right.
But that was.
That $7 or $8 million was all in for everything, but you could take smaller bites of the apple.
You're right, except.
you can divide it up.
Back when that phase in approach was back starting in 2017. Starting in 2023. All right, so my point is, when we're doing that, we need to know that answer, that we don't go low.
Because there's a threshold of minimum necessary to get back in the building.
Right?
People are gonna wanna know that
What
number.
is that? We need to, it's in there. I just think it's.
Yeah.
Yes, just throwing it out. We need to know that.
Does it make sense to have a group of folks just work on some of those facts? That we can then, like, next week, we validate we agree that those are the facts we want to put out, because what I get concerned about is your point is like the number we had the first night versus last week. It's tweaking.
Yeah,
We just
yeah.
said it, like, this is a number that we're
Well,
gonna.
that's it. Are we using the number from 2023, or are we bouncing the number to what we think it is now?
I'm even saying like just the cost to maintain the building.
Oh,
Like,
right.
right, we've got, I mean, in my notes, I have like 3 different numbers based upon how we were
Right.
calculating it.
Because if somebody says, why don't we just blah, 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 it's like, well, it's costing us. Yeah, 7,500, 7,500, or is it 10 grand a year, or whatever.
To answer your question though, on what number we should use for the renovations, I think we should use the tie and bond number, because they're the expert. And it's dated 2022.
I agree.
Any rational person would realize it's been changed, it's gonna go up, it's 2022, but we're not making that number up. It's not us sitting here
Right.
throwing a dart and saying it's this.
That's
We
good.
have a expert that provided that number to us.
I agree, that's a good point. Okay, I'm sorry, Joe, I had a.
No,
with
it's,
that.
One quick thing for the survey. How about I send out to the committee, the raw data? I pulled out all the questions people asked. I can share that. I just think people an analysis is gonna say. I could just email them, everybody who wanted to do that.
Yeah, very good.
Is there a ton of questions? Do we want to try to go through those questions? I haven't looked at the data, so.
Oh, no, I need to see that. I can tell you,
Like top responses.
okay, so there's groups, so there's questions around the future use and repurposing. So sometimes people will just ask a question as a response, like, how about a preschool, or how about a historical preservation opportunity? Then there were questions around decision-making. Why do we buy TWB and move everything there if this building is gonna have no purpose? Was any thought before the decision to move given to future use? Is this survey just, Yeah.
What's the question?
why did we buy TWB and move everything there if this whole building is going to have no purpose?
So the answer to that, we didn't buy we owned it since 1967. Vacant.
So it's like.
Yeah.
Get it back.
Go by.
Just, yeah.
Right. So again, it's like, are we gonna start to create information that only one person has?
Yeah,
that
I know, it's one
people
thing that-
Mostly no,
Some of-
I don't
but-
know.
But if there's a one around costs, like that's a true
Yeah.
taxpayer should know
Yes.
that number as we go through this process. Versus like somebody's opinion, whether or not we should have done it or not. It's like when the town committee board or whatever town meeting and it's done.
Getting back to the stuff that happened before we're sitting here, it's like, we're trying to figure this out.
Going
No, I'm not figuring out what happened.
Right.
Maybe without being rude.
So again, there's just a lot of, the questions are sort of all over the board.
Yeah.
We would want to, there's probably 30 or 40 that just randomly got asked in different buckets. But there are the financial ones that probably we could address with just giving them that.
Did we hit anything from the, excuse me, the 18 to 24? Nobody came in. I talked to two neighbors who said they were gonna try to recruit.
Heather, maybe it'd be easier if you put the report up on the screen. You know, how you had some analysis that
No, but I don't,
We don't want to do that.
I guess
because-
I'm worried that it's not
it's not totally accurate yet.
changed enough after the responses that,
No.
I mean, I'm certainly happy to share it with
Okay,
if you want to, but it's good, it could change again and then it's.
Yeah.
It might, it's up to, you know, I'm gonna share it all via email. Side, but I feel like it might be.
so we're not really ready to talk about the survey till we tabulate all the additional. So let's,
We can't talk about the analysis of the results, all the results, because we don't have the total results.
I can tell you demographically, currently to date, you just want that, we still have a good, we do have 18 to 24. Very, very small. number.
Your neighbors.
They said they were trying to get,
Say,
I
Oh,
can't
'cause I was
even
like, we
see
don't
them in
have
the
it.
pie chart, so
it should be at least two.
it might be, I can't even find them in the pie
Okay.
chart. But there, it says that
Okay.
they're there. And then, how long have you lived in Hampden? 41% have been here 30 or more years, 35%
Yep.
here 15 to 29. So it's fully skewed, 80% of people have been here at least 20 years. And that's where the data is, right? But that could change. Yeah, I can check.
She said they were going to try to. with their parents.
That just sounds.
So, survey. Didn't request a survey. Last time we talked about what we would have to do to get a historical issue. The building. What do we have to do to get a historical designation? Can you come up here to the microphone there? I know you yell a lot.
Well, part of the work has been done in 2000. There was, in order to get an historical commission to get some money from Mass Historical Commission to do a survey. That's actually how we started. And the town, when they heard that we were going to get some money, agreed to having an historical commission. There isn't or wasn't very much interest in that. A couple of years ago, the historical commission went before a town meeting to apply for CPA money for establishing a national register district in the center of town. There was so much opposition, it was turned down. I think it's probably the only thing that ever got turned down for CPA money. And it was only $15,000. It wasn't a huge sum. To have a professional come in and do the survey for the village. What the historical commission decided we still wanted to pursue it, even though the town had said no. The first time, we felt that they were just needed more information on what a national historic district meant. So we worked through the summer. We had a forum, which I think you attended, Don. It was heavily attended in the townhouse auditorium. And we had experts from Mass Historical, Springfield Historical Commission and Preservation Trust, and Wilbraham came en masse. The Wilbraham Historical Commission came in support of the project. We sent out a mailing to every person in the whole entire district, every household. And 87% of the people in the district wanted an historic district. So that was when we went back to town meeting, and town meeting approved the $15,000. That $15,000 is still sitting in the CPA funds for us to do that, because Mass Historical said they wanted us to survey the whole town before they would do the work that went into a district. You hire someone to do the research, they submit it to Mass Historical. Mass Historical goes over the whole thing. They send it to the National Park Service, to the register, to the National Historic Register, and they either approve or disapprove of the district. So we have not done that, but we do have some information on the building because of the survey that was done, which I have here. See. So when this was done, and it was completed in 2000, so that's 26 years ago. The building, the townhouse, has a very nice write-up in this, and it's considered to be an important building by the person, Marla Miller, who did this, has a doctorate in preservation studies. She's a professor at UMass. And so it's reputable, but
Do we have that digitally, Connie? Do we have it?
this digitally,
Do we have that in did it come in a digital format, or is it just in print?
it's in print. This is 2000.
Yeah, I know.
So you're
Yeah.
going back. Mass Historical does have, Mass Historical has this is in their Macros database.
Scan it.
Yeah, we got 3 documents here that we get to scan in the database. Preservation Planning Manual written at the Mass Historical Commission. The Mass Historical Commission Historic Survey of Hampden Village by Marla Miller, January 2000. And then the file in the library that Connie and the Historical Commission put together. Those are the 3 things we need to scan, or we get digital format, get the information on.
I want the historic, it's on their website, right? Would it be
We'll find it. We'll get
It's
it.
on our
We'll get it.
website? No.
the Mass Historic one? Would that be with the doctor?
That's the Macros thing that he's talking about. It is in there, but there's not that much. If we had the money to do the whole town, it would still take a lot. We might be able to work with Mass Historical and to get that district on, which would put that in the townhouse. And this is one of the reasons why we did it, to put the townhouse in a National Register district which allows developers to apply for 20% tax credit from the federal government on a project that they would do, and also a 20% tax credit from the state on anything that they do that keeps the historical fabric of the building. They don't have to keep everything. You don't have to keep everything.
So mainly, do you think, in your opinion, would it be the facade and exterior, and then the interior could be gutted and retrofitted to fit the needs of town?
That's possible. It's also possible to gut the inside because of the configuration of the building with the staircases where there are so many different levels. It's not like it's a 1-floor, 2-floor thing. It's
All of it.
completely screwed up.
Cut up. Well said.
Yeah.
Well, it is for modern purposes. When it was built, it was a normal thing to do. The architects were Towner and Salou. And that would be mostly Towner, who was a New York architect who retired to Middletown, Connecticut, and was hired by Elizabeth Sessions to design the townhouse. And he did some very important buildings, and for Wesleyan University, the high school in Middleton. I mean, he was a top-notch architect. And
Stairs.
he
said he liked stairs.
well, the thing is, people in 1932, people didn't realize that there were handicapped people who couldn't access these buildings. Even if you come into this building, which I think is very well designed, the TWB building is wonderful. That's like you're talking the 1960s, and a handicapped person can't open the front door. You know, it's in 1932, nobody thought about that.
Yeah.
If you had a handicapped child, that child had to get whatever learning they got at home or in some kind of a special school that you would have to send them away to. That was the only way they could even get an education.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure, Ted.
So this is about, you're talking about the redistricting of like the center of town. So that was,
No, it's not really a redistricting.
okay, I'm saying what you were going for is a pretty big portion of that.
Mhm.
If we wanted to just get this
Yes,
certificate on the townhouse,
you could apply for that.
what could that cost? That's what I'm wondering. How much does it cost? And how long is it going to take?
It would take a long time because it has to go through, it's government.
Like, is it 2 years, you think? Just ballparking it, 2 years, 3 years?
I'd say 2 to 3 years, yes.
And any idea the cost? You said you had to hire,
Just to do the townhouse?
yeah, well, yeah,
Oh, it would be very low. I'd say $1,000, maybe
$1,000?
something. I don't really think it would be that much because, well, that's to get it submitted to Mass Historical. I'd say 1 to 2,000.
2 years, 2 to 3 years. All right, Connie.
I don't want to underestimate the time either, but also the National Register has gotten much stricter about districts and buildings. But I think that the townhouse definitely has more than a 90% chance of getting accepted. Its history is incredible. There is not a building in this town and in very few towns, as in the country that have served as many purposes and filled the needs of as many citizens as this building has. It's also a big part of women's history because a woman donated it to the town.
Dinners in the dining room. They had showers.
Shooting range.
We went looking for that when we did the tour, we couldn't find it.
Well, we did.
We found it, but it's not very,
Behind the cinder block.
Blocked off.
Yeah,
not big.
but it has just absolutely tons of history in that scrapbook. Joe, I think you mentioned the finding things on that scrapbook that I made for the 90th birthday.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the library and scan that.
Yeah. That has several different events. I mean, everything in town. I went to a reception after the funeral of Dalton Philpott. I don't know if anybody else was there.
There?
It was in the townhouse auditorium. I mean, the place has just served this town to the maximum for over 90 years. It's not something that we want to let go. Certainly not. It's nothing that we want torn down. And the exterior, the brickwork. I don't know. I've got a couple of things that I've thought about that building a lot over the years, and that if the town ever did leave it, what could be done with it? And because of its configuration, makes it very difficult for a developer to come in there or for anyone to do anything with that building. And I haven't come up with a solution, but there are a lot of really good preservation architects out there. There's a really good business in Rhode Island, but they do work in Massachusetts, and some people from Massachusetts who were on MHC now work for them. It's called PAL, and they do all kinds of preservation projects. And you might want to consider either PAL or another business that's comparable to it for giving you some insight into this whole problem. And it is a problem. I'm just gonna, because you're the chairman, and I only have my own name. It's on cheat. That's on
That's
the
why you go to town meeting.
tax. You're right, right.
This is about the tax thing.
That's about tax incentives. This is, I just underlined that. That preserving the building is environmentally the best thing you could do. I mean, when you consider how much would be going into waste, and this is just a picture of one of the projects that's been done
Yeah, so
with tax credits.
I spent a couple of nights there.
I think it's Salem, but could be.
I'll scan these, and Lauren scan these.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
And the National Park Service does have more information on anything that would be involved in the National Register. Another thing with a building is, and I haven't heard anyone mention it, CPA funds. And there is a lot of money in the kitty.
46,000.
How much?
646,000.
Okay. There's a lot of money in there that could be spent. It's spent correctly.
How much was it done?
646,000.
That's in town. It's our money, it's the town's money, yeah.
The taxpayers.
That would cover anything of historical interest. This is another organization, if you want to know, if you have questions about what they might cover, is the Community Preservation Coalition. It is a nonprofit, and they can answer any question you might have about Community Preservation Act. They're very helpful.
Preservation Coalition.
Community Preservation Coalition.
So we'll get that in there too.
Thanks, Connie.
The Salem jail here, which they, you know, York Street, the
York Street Jail.
Suffolk County Jail.
Oh.
Boston,
Yeah,
they changed that to Liberty.
yeah. Yeah. That's been done. I wish they had done something with York Street. It's gone. You can't save them all.
Thank you, Connie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, could I mention one thing too about the survey? When we did the master plan, I think we're getting a higher amount of responses on this survey than we did for the master plan.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, and I noticed you said there were very few at the senior center. I don't even think we didn't get any responses from the senior center. We did from the library. We got, I think, 10 or 12 from the library.
You didn't get any responses from the senior center, it's being Amy stood there. If we'd have left the box, we probably would have got more.
Oh,
I've been talking to a lot of people at the senior center, and they're all in agreement to fill out that paper. So hopefully they will.
Hopefully they will.
but I'd like to see it when you go on the town website and you turn that thing on, you turn that on, you get the picture of the townhouse and everything looking down on that. I'd like to see the survey turn up when you turn it on, not have to go searching for it. Yeah. Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Well done.
You guys ready for that? While we're talking about.
Covered it pretty well.
Yep. Community forum, so April 14th, which day, 14th after the.
What day of the week is?
The day before your taxes are due. Taxes.
Oh, yeah, that'd be lovely.
Would that be in the auditorium?
They're due April 10th. So what's April 14th?
The community forum. Big community forum.
The big one.
Yeah, big, capital.
Do in the parking lot.
That's. Right, take a look at everything that you're, this thing here. How do you want to approach this?
Well, I think there's a couple of things that we need to do. This is really the first draft of this.
I'm looking at that. They didn't get mine yet.
You have other
For some reason, that wasn't here. Oh,
Do you
what's that one?
points we're gonna put.
You know?
Yep.
Last week.
Yeah.
Well, fundamentally, I think what it'll show us, one of the motions I was gonna make today is to be quick, yeah.
The select board was to have a presentation. So we have to have the recommendation of presentation.
When is that? That's May.
That's May 11th.
So a month after we do the
Yeah.
town hall meeting.
Yeah, so keeping this in mind, say that there's still people. Yeah. Questions will be, what if we sell this? The answer. Well, we have to, the process will have to be, you have to do a request for proposal or request for information. We have to, you know, put it up, hire real estate. first development. What if we demolish the place we just stay in the. Yeah, I think we have to know about this. Big. Up at that. We can ask.
Well, I think when we get into motions, I'm sorry, second time I interrupted motions. But we were gonna review, we were gonna have the committee review what they thought. Is there anybody that wants to say anything about this, that they made notes or that you wanna change or like you to update? Anybody? I mean, other than the obvious, it needs, numbers and factories in it, taking out the RFP thing.
Well, there's a couple of things, it's like,
Sure.
there's,
That's what, but I don't think so.
Another chance to say, I think.
I'll be honest, I haven't spent time going through it.
Me neither, so.
So if we go through it tonight,
Next time we get a chance to read, it'll be better.
Yeah.
Shorter.
more condensed.
well, I suppose, if I could bring your attention to number 4, redevelopment option. This is based on the master plan and all the data that we put in there. And it basically came up with 6 options. See them, I don't have to read them because they're, what I'd like to, if you haven't read them, you should read them. But I would like to propose that we establish what are the options. What are the options for the building and vote on it? Say, these are our options. And what this does is it does a pretty good analysis of what our options are. Basically, keep it. You make it mixed use. You make it into a small business shared workspace hub. We sell it, single family residential subdivision. We get an institution or a nonprofit to take it over, or we demolish. 6 really kind of like 3 options. Keep it, save it, demolish it. So I'd like to make the motion that we, if these 6 options for us to investigate are satisfactory, then at least we'll have it a little bit more, we'll have options that are something for us to discuss.
So Joe, you want to lock in like, hey, we're not missing anything out of this 6.
We're not missing anything out of that 6, if we can, Connie,
Option.
what about it?
Didn't hear that.
Oh, it's on there,
It's
It's on there.
it's on
the
there.
mixed use.
Yeah, mixed use. I was gonna say,
I didn't get to the next option.
okay,
So this is this is the redevelopment option, right?
Yep.
So maybe I'll go over it. And then the next one, which is number 6, which is another motion I was going to make, I may as well go over them before that, is disposition considerations. We see what I mean, which is a little different, slightly different. Sell it, release,
Keep it.
yeah, this is, sell it, we lease the ground, knock it down and we lease the ground and we get a ground lease for the town and make some money. Or we get a redevelopment agreement and the town is in partnership with someone else.
while you're talking, I'm gonna hand something out, to go along with the thought process of the partnership. Just some other ways to look at it. Kind of goes in conjunction with.
We have, yeah,
Sorry, go.
they don't have.
You have one. And one for Connie.
I'll go back to redevelopment.
Yeah,
They got loud. We didn't put on here firehouse option.
that's because it's incomplete. That's what I said,
I didn't hear you say it.
it's incomplete.
I wanted to say it, so it's out.
Yeah, it's in, this is.
So this is like another.
This is an evolving, you know, we're kind of like, this is a moving target. I don't want to miss anything along the way. The next incarnation, we might have 7. Might have 7 options, we might have 8. Today we got 6. Based on the information we got so far.
And now we're in this position.
Then we go to, then it's this position. And you gotta, this could be in.
You could,
Can I ask you a
what could
question?
go,
So Paul, when you talked about last week, or whatever, the last meeting, is that the redevelopment agreement?
yeah, private-public partnership.
Yes.
Well, what we should do with this, Heather, is we should put this into the database and have it give us an analysis of this particular option.
Yeah.
So that we can include it in there, and now we have 7.
That help the firehouse?
That's not counting the fires. Now with
So we have
the
8.
fires, we have 8.
Got anything else?
And so when, it is a lot, but when we
Too many.
put that in the database, we cue the next question. And we say, not only give me options, but give me feasibility in terms of finances. The sentiment of the town, and what we can do.
This does that.
This will rank, yeah, I understand, this will rank that.
It ranks it based on your idea, Tad. I want to give Tad the credit for this because it was his idea. It was a great idea. And it's the matrix that you can see on page,
The master plan,
the matrix. Number 5, right?
is it number 5? Yeah. The master plan matrix,
Yeah, the master plan.
Just now. like how I always do my homework in class.
So we- Yeah, that's page, doesn't have a page, it's number 5.
Next one will.
The next one will have pages. So page numbers. So that's the second motion that I'd like to make tonight. And the third motion I'd like to make tonight is that accept that we begin, even though whether we do any of the 8 options or 9 options or 10 options, there's going to be a due diligence checklist from whoever is going to do this. And what number 8 has done is it's identified the due diligence checklist in advance, which might have a couple more on it, but it's a pretty good list. And it puts a priority on what we need. So if you look at it, the give legal opinion, we got to get that right away. Title 5, got to get that right away. And then it goes on to some that are high or, a moderate. So once we go through that, the first option that I'm gonna make is that we identify the 6 options in the report for us to analyze, with the expectation that they'll be up to, should we say 10? I mean, let's not overwhelm ourselves. You know what I mean? We gotta pick a couple. We have to ultimately recommend to the select, and this is what we should do. So we got 6 now, 7, firehouse is 8, could come up with a couple more. So my motion is I'm making a motion to analyze 6 redevelopment options contained in this report. We don't need a motion, we just have to say we're gonna do it.
I think that's in essence part of this. whole
Okay,
process
I
coming
feel
up
like
with
that's
that.
what we're doing.
Okay, so we don't have, so that's good. I'm fine with that.
No pushback this week.
Okay,
Not one. Yeah. Number 2?
the second one is the disposition structure. Consider it, I think we should consider all 3 of those. Selling it, leasing the ground, or putting together a redevelopment agreement like public-private partnership.
We assume those are part of the same set of options.
I think that one for sure.
Huh? What do you think? What?
I agree with you. I just think like we should combine those two thought processes and because those are all the options is like,
They're like a subset.
yeah.
Yeah, they're really, this one here is, the disposition structure is if we get rid of it.
Well,
The other ones have some,
but even demolition or whatever the sale, what was it, the single use? That's a disposition. Right, because you're gonna sell it. It's almost like they match together.
and I thought,
that's option D, right?
Selling could be you're selling it outright, town has no say. Wash your hands of it, done.
Whatever the person does with it. has to do with it.
yeah, that's not in the redevelopment options, sale. And the ground lease is not in the redevelopment. And the redevelopment agreement is kind of like a public-private partnership or a sale leaseback. But
Option D,
I'm
option
trying
D
to add
is the same as
structure.
selling it though,
Ross,
right?
what's that?
Option D in section 4, which is
D,
sale
right?
of
D,
single
Sell
family,
it, it's get rid of it.
is the same as option 1 in
Right.
disposition.
Yeah,
That's what I was
residential or
getting at.
subdivision.
I think when we refine this, this disposition structure is gonna kind of get squeezed into where it's appropriate. Sale, when we're gonna sell it, or Steve just pointed out, where the heck, item option D.
Yep.
Demolition is here, that,
Those
those,
demolitions different than selling it. It's
I
gonna
understand what you're saying, this structure, demolition structure considerations would be part of some of these options.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know that we have to
Separate them.
separate. We're gonna
Yeah.
hit the button on this again.
Well, so then maybe then if you want, you put these in the options, so now you're up to 11, 12 options.
Yeah.
Huh?
Way too many.
There's a lot of options. We have to come up with
These guys don't get
Isn't the usage
maybe four.
what happens
We gotta,
if one, if they
cut some of these out somehow.
dictate whether or
Gotta
not
get down like 3, 4.
by the
If it's 11.
town leadership?
I don't think it's town leadership, ridiculous, I think town residents should try to cut it down.
Okay, so
Three.
what we give them though, the 3 options for what the use can be.
Yep.
I guess the.
Would we make a
Yeah.
recommendation to the select board?
Yeah.
It says, here's the 3.
Yeah.
If we're unanimous, then
Yeah.
like we would recommend this option.
Shouldn't we be voting on the uses, like potential uses versus potential, like how it's gonna. Like whether the town would own it or not, like that would be attached to each of the 3 uses.
what do you mean the
Right.
3 uses?
Like we pick, well, I would think we'd have these 10 options. We would pick the top 3 that we think the strongest options. That are a good mix that reflect what the town agrees to, and then the selectmen would have those, they put them forward, and then the town would vote. And then depending on how it's voted, that's what dictate what would happen.
And then there's.
Is that how it's gonna go?
I don't know.
Dan?
It would be a whole other
Don?
committee to start to get
To
that,
action it.
right?
Yeah, right. Then you would know if you were owning it or selling it, or like all that would shake out once the decision made. I don't.
And-
I don't know either. What do you, I'm not quite sure that process.
I feel like we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Town decides to maintain the building.
Well, it's not really it's deciding what it's gonna be, I thought. Like, if it's gonna be a community center, then
Right.
that means the town will own it. That would dictate.
So the 3 options would be. Make it a community center. Elderly housing. Sell it,
Demolish,
demolish.
Or demolish it, yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
I
there's,
don't
No,
know, maybe there's
those would be the
5
main- those would
options,
be the-
but
gotta get it down to 3 or 4.
I'm just thinking of. Going for the
3 would be better.
in May, and saying, okay, we looked at a lot of different options, this is where we are. We've got 4 options, right, we're discussing 4 options.
Yeah.
And then say, so what this means is A, B, C, D. But no decision made, no, that's what we got.
But-
And that's what happened, committee should make a recommendation to select board say, okay. We don't have the money to do this, but we can ask them to the top. Tell the town meeting this is our. At some point.
Yeah. We could do that. We can also try to get some an expression of interest letter. I know it's not as good
Yeah.
as an RFP, but at least this is almost an expression of interest, right? This would be, there's an interest. Right? And so I think, one of the things we can investigate is whether or not we could try to have a couple of deals together in advance. I had someone ask me the other day if the town would be interested in a medical building, medical offices there. Keep the front of the building the way it is, put medical offices in a small pharmacy based on what the residents of the town are using. That's another one. I mean, that just came to me.
That's 13.
That's,
I think it's gonna come down to dollar and cents,
you know what I mean? That's why I think,
what kind of money it's.
I think I'd like to, if we can get it to 10, maybe.
I gotta say,
12.
I think we're trying to be almost too specific. I think these recommendations are gonna be, you're gonna sell it. It doesn't matter what we're gonna do with it, we're gonna sell it.
Demo it.
We're gonna demo it. Brian, you want to get to. We're gonna sell it. We're gonna keep it.
Yeah.
Or we're gonna demo it.
Well, who's we?
Or lease it.
Yeah, so we're gonna sell it, somebody's gonna buy it and do something with it, we don't know what that is yet. We're gonna keep it, and we're gonna do something with it, whatever that is. Or we're gonna demo it. That'd be like three things right now. So when we say, a pharmacy or mixed use housing or senior housing, we don't need to decide that just yet. We're not gonna go to in May and say specifically, here's what we're thinking. We're gonna say the feasibility of selling it. We have 2 or 3 people who are interested in possibly buying that property and doing something with it. This is what it would cost the town. This is what we would get on a ground lease. These are preliminary numbers, but this is kind of where we're headed. If we keep it, we're looking at
X number of dollars to fix it.
whatever it is to fix it, $4, $6, $8 million to fix it. But we keep it and have the facade and use it for what we're going to use it for. Or we demolish it. And I will say that demolish it says in here, it's the only option that you can't take back. So, but that would be, so that's 3. And if we keep it, maybe the firehouse is back.
The lease back, I think is the 4th option.
Sure.
Right.
And the fire
Well,
department's 5th.
If you sell it, the lease back would be part of it. That would be,
I guess so, yeah.
you sell it to a guy you're getting the tax revenue from whatever he puts in, an incubator or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then you're getting a lease back on,
Yeah, I
on
guess
the product.
selling
So we're making out there.
Yeah.
That guy's tough to find. I'm telling you right now. I
Yeah,
actually talked to, I was at a thing on Sunday for a Boy Scout, Eagle Scout ceremony, which was pretty neat. But our Senator Oliveira was there. And I cornered him and talked to him a little bit about this. Said, I'm on this committee and trying to do this. It'd be great if you know a guy that's got $10 million to come here, kind of joking. And he said, yeah, everybody's looking. Everybody in Western Mass is looking for that guy.
Yeah.
So, you can say, we want to sell it and we want to have somebody come and blah, blah, blah. Feasibility wise, is that guy there? That's what we'll have to find out. If we decide that's one of the options, but we'd have to find that out, right? And then add expenses to if it's plan B where we're going to keep it. Now we need to tell everybody, look, to get people in there, it looks like it's going to be $4.5 million just to get it where you can walk in there and do something with some of the rooms.
Yeah.
And then it's more than that. And then what after that? So I think it's less than 10. It's 10 or 12 when you get into the big expanse of all of that, but it's only 3 or 4, kind of big picture options. I'll be quiet. Sorry, I'm off on a tangent.
I think what I'm trying to do with this motion or this part of the presentation is for us to decide on what are the options. If it's 10, if it's 12, if it's 3, then we could focus our attention a little. You know, that otherwise, gonna be in this a while. That's one part of it. The second part about it is that, for me, I'm interested in finding someone locally, but everybody's trying to find someone locally. We need to find a global partner that's looking to move into a place, maybe house some people, maybe do some research and development, maybe doing AI, maybe doing robotics, maybe doing, drones, maybe doing deliveries, maybe doing all things that we're really not thinking about, but somebody is working on, and they want to, almost like the Manhattan Project, when all those scientists, and they brought them out into the desert, and they housed them, they schooled them, and they worked on a project.
That could take us years. Find this person, find these
It's
people.
gonna take us years just to get the historical designation. This is a long project. This is, if you're gonna carry this thing, and it cost, let's say the.
Unless you're gonna sell it.
Sell it. Let's say we carry the thing for 3 years. That's $150,000. It costs us 50 grand. If it costs us $5,000 a month to carry the thing, even 4,500, it's 50 grand a year. Or even if it's 60 grand a year, in 3 years, it's only 150, 180,000. If we're gonna preserve it, let's try to, I'm just saying, to answer what Brian said about it taking time. I'd rather take more time on this than rush. I'd rather recommend to the selectmen that we take some time and bite the bullet and carry the thing for a while.
It's fine. Need to get
Well,
3 or 4
the town's gonna have the final say.
items.
Yeah.
Gonna present to them. Give it. On May 11th, we'll just give them a report. So the report, this is where we are.
You're exactly right.
Okay? So think about this. They'll ask some questions about finance. It'll give them some time to think about it. They'll probably go back to the special town meeting in October. Say, okay, we've narrowed it down. This is the recommendation.
That's what the board will do? That you're saying that's what the board will do? Or?
Just give this presentation in May. Just say these are where we are. These are the 4 options.
This is what we have for options right now.
5 options we're looking. Yeah.
Yep.
They'll ask questions about, well, how much does this cost?
I tell you, dollars and cents is gonna be the whole thing.
How long is it gonna take, tell them it's gonna take 2 or 3 years to get a historical designation. We wanna do that, it's gonna take this and that. How much does it cost for us per month? And they can think about that, and then Paul will come back with narrow scope. So, maybe it will have final recommendation, maybe we'll have someone say, I wanna buy it, maybe we'll.
Yep.
And then when it comes down to when the town makes the final decision, you're gonna have to understand, okay, if you decide to keep it, it's a long-term project, because it ain't gonna be rehabbed overnight. You're not gonna get people moving in there overnight. I think that one of these Hamptons years.
And we're gonna have to put money into it.
20 years they've been working on it.
20 years.
People use it as an example, saying they got this money, but they're
Brimfield, the same thing.
talking about
20 years.
a long project.
No, they did it in stages.
They did it in
stages. They got grants and they did courses and all that stuff. 1 year.
Was that East Hampton?
Yeah.
Yeah, East Hampton.
In the meanwhile, this building is aging.
Well, this-
They're both gonna be decrepit and old and no investment.
See, if you include the townhouse, and I'll present this again for your consideration. I know it's way out there, and I know that it's like something that we might not be thinking about today. But if you give the developer vision for the future and what's happening there, you're liable to attract somebody that's aligned with that vision. For example, if we took the district, the historic, I don't know if we call it historic district, but as I mentioned before, energy, recreation, and culture, from Laughing Brook all the way down to the town, to the gas station, or the end of the street, the end of Main Street, that section of Main Street, and you focus on energy. Let me give you an example. right, of what happened in this town that Mass Autobahn did. Mass Autobahn sold, I should get the exact number, 23 or 25 million dollars in the millions to a company in California to offset the carbon that the company in California was spewing out into the air. So Mass Autobahn has preserved, I think it's we'll get the exact numbers for you, 435 acres or whatever it is, that can't be developed so that the oxygen that goes out of there and the carbon dioxide that sucks up offsets this company in California. One example. That's one example. We got 5,000 acres in town. We got 5,000 acres of open space in town. Now, what if we take 200 of those? Maybe if we take 1,000 of those and we sell those to some company somewhere that's despoiling the environment to offset what they're doing. That's one example. Another example. There's a phenomenon that's going out all across the world where they're trying to capture energy from every imaginable source. Every imaginable source. For example, the roads. There are roads being built. We're going to have this for you. We're going to give you this report. Whereas the cars go down Main Street, they're creating energy.
Yeah, we're a little ways away from that.
We are. It could be 20 years.
Yeah, well, 20 years ain't helping us.
Let me tell you, that's why I said this is way out there. Then you have these are all things that are happening right now. You have these flower windmills that go along the sides of the roads. And as the cars go by and the wind go by, they create energy. Then you have what's happening many places, and Hampden's not away from this, where the mills that used to power these small little factories all along the river are gone. And these pools that we had where the fire department could suck the water out, which all our dams in town, are all our dams in town broken? Just about all of them broken. Just about.
Yeah, there's nothing left.
If we repaired the dams, we would be able to do two things. We'd be able to take the energy from the water flow over the dam, and then we'd be creating pools where the fire department could go and suck the water out if we have a fire, and we won't be as subject to the catastrophe that happened in Muncie. That could happen here any day now. The firemen can't go suck the water out because all of those dams are broken and they can't get at the water. I could go on, but what I'm saying, I won't, huh? But I won't.
I'm just gonna say no.
I'm illustrating those examples in order to attract somebody or some company or some entity that's working on these projects at a global scale, and they realize that this is a town. I'll give you another one. It's a great one. I'll give you one that I personally worked on, was a playground. In a playground where the kids spin around. And it pumps the water out for the villages. It pumps the water out of the well. So as the kids are playing, fresh water is coming out.
Gotta harness the energy in the devices.
Harness the energy of Main Street. Every
Kids go outside.
every piece of energy that we have.
Spin around.
We got four options.
Those are the other options. You know, those are the.
No, I'll be dead and buried by then.
I'd like to include the townhouse in a much broader scope if it's gonna take us this much time. If it's gonna take us 2 or 3 years to get the historical designations, because frankly, I know any developer that I know is gonna want that discount.
First, we have keep the building,
Exactly.
Sell it.
Yeah.
use the building.
Yep.
You want to sell it.
Sell it. If they want to keep it, then we got options.
Fine, to make it, okay. Get ready for Joe.
Oh, we're gonna put Joe in charge.
No.
But, it'll come down to keeping the building comes with a pretty big number.
Well, it's gonna start costing hundreds of thousands of dollars in a couple of years.
So
Because, so that bill, I'm gonna
Talking
tell,
about taxes.
no, I'm not talking taxes.
Oh, you mean keeping it?
If we keep that thing for 3 years, we're gonna put some money into it.
There's risk.
You gotta protect the envelope.
There's a
Yeah.
good risk, and I
Yeah,
can tell you right now,
Sure.
there's a $250,000 risk tag and everything.
Can I ask a
What
question?
happens if we make suggestions to the select board takes whatever and proposes it to the town to vote on, what if the town rejects it?
Back to square one?
We start all over again, or do you go on to like option two?
Then you go to option two. Say, okay, you don't want to sell it. So, but you don't want to keep it, so your options, do you want to sell it or you want to tear it down?
Nope.
You know, choose big up,
Right,
you know.
right.
Yeah.
But if you want to sell, okay, well, it may take 10 years, it may take 10 years to sell. And
Not considering the fact that you could sell it and whoever buys it could tear it down.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you throw an RFP with a condition that the building envelope may contain, then you're sure that the building is not going to be torn down, it's going to be rehab. So that's what I would ask to consider is putting that in any RFP.
We should get Connie a copy of this report. These guys, do you guys have a copy of this report? It's on the website, isn't it? Isn't it?
Not yet,
Not yet.
we're not done.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question though? So Paul, based on the note here, what is the land that is here for TWB? Like space wise, acres, like how much land here does the town own?
I don't have that accurate number.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you happen to know?
23.
23 acres here.
the building is 71,000 square feet. Some of it back is wetland,
Buttons, yeah.
but there's a trail that goes from the seniors to here.
Sorry, I was just curious as I was reading your thing, like. What's the value of what we're sitting on here versus spending all this, time and energy
I
for the
think
townhouse?
the assessors have assessed it.
That number seems very close to the number to
Yeah.
renovate the other building, coincidentally. Sorry. Wait a second. That seems rather,
Someone would pay more than that.
We,
And do some.
yeah.
We're gonna get some, we're gonna queue up some new questions and fire the button, right?
What are we doing? Is anything going on with the fire department?
Yeah, what's the status of that whole thing?
Yeah.
Why we need to get in front of it.
We need to find out what's going on.
they have to finalize the contract with an architect.
Mhm.
And they're gonna present to the architect that they want to talk about maybe instead of original plan.
Go and
Well, to just go to the left.
go over.
But doesn't it make sense to connect the two teams, committees, whatever the heck you want to call it? Like, it seems like
Disjointed.
very disjointed. Like, I know things have changed. Originally, this was not the plan.
You've been at their brother 3 years.
Not to say this, but the fire department now, we voted that money in when? Last year?
Last year.
25.
Okay, now you gotta remember, cost is gonna go up.
Sounds like it has.
Well, it has, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
We know that.
the town authorized.
8.3 or 8.4, whatever it was.
It's,
Wow, seems like a very sticky number in this town.
That number's everywhere.
they haven't issued the money. Selectmen haven't. Have.
No plan to use it.
No, that's what.
No. 8.3 may not do
But
it anymore.
can't the select board go back to the two committees and say, come together. At least, okay,
Seems like they would wanna. First, or.
in conjunction.
I think if we got in front of the firehouse and we said, you know, there's two projects here. There's an $8 million firehouse, there's an $8 million townhouse.
On less than 2 acres.
Yeah.
Like, let's go figure
It's
this
like
out.
50 yards away, the door to one of the buildings is 50 yards away. That's gonna be vacant. Why don't you guys figure out how to put 3 or 4 bays in? You can have the damn thing. And now we've got one project for 8 million or maybe even less. I
Less.
don't know what it would cost to put bays in. And you could do it, but to me,
Refurbish, keep the outside of the townhouse,
that just seems like,
gut it, make it
put the 3 bays so they bounce out onto Main Street instead of coming out on North Road from all
the
traffic.
school.
Yeah, they could do the asbestos abatement and everything that way. It probably
And you
costs
take-
less than what they're
Then
doing.
you take those signs up above in stone that says Hampden Townhouse and you move it over here, stick it somewhere here. And you take the Hampden Library sign and put it over by the library.
Yep.
Done deal.
I mean, it seems so logical. I would hope the townspeople would be like, why are we not connecting these dots?
Well, so the first thing you'd have to do is have them say, I'm kind of thinking I would maybe do that. The second thing is, maybe the first thing is somebody has to say, you could put 3 bays in that building. 'Cause
Well, you
remember,
gotta get someone who knows that, yeah.
basement that you'd have to fill something, yes. Dig it out. I don't really know, but seems to me we put a man on the moon. We
Yeah.
can put 3 or 4 bays in that building.
Plus, you have the space now to put all the offices and all the other stuff that was part of the original plan.
Yeah,
You keep the
Their
2
shop.
facades, rip everything else out, and
put in their stuff.
now you have 2 of the 4 walls you need.
Oh, we solved that. Right?
I think we should go to the next fire.
That's exactly what I keep thinking.
Here.
They propped them up
Yeah,
for 2 years and that was it.
open it up, that's all. Try to open it up.
I don't know,
anyway.
it seems like a pretty
I don't know
doable
if it could be
option.
done or not.
Everybody wins. You get that.
Yeah.
You keep the prop.
You keep the property and you could still have space to do some sort of community center in there too. So
Problem is you gotta find somebody if that can be done.
gotta imagine you gotta be able to do that for.
You gotta get a good architect.
Find out what
you can do it.
Yeah.
That's where you gotta get someone involved. It's got some.
But I bet you the town people,
I drew.
yeah,
Money wise, I
Like,
think that,
I would rather spend $10 million on that one project and do that together versus.
Oh, you're gonna be saving money in the
8
long
million,
run.
8 million. There you go, exactly.
Look at it.
The way I picture now that.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's exactly what I was.
Yeah, they have to be on the North Road, but if you could
Yeah.
get them to empty out on the Main Street, then there's no messing around with that little road.
It could probably, it could be done, that.
Good.
I bet you it could be done. It
Connie, don't run away. I'm gonna show you this picture I drew.
can show you.
What do you leave? Yeah, he's got a picture. I just drew it.
Yeah, that,
you know,
what you're seeing,
Yeah.
looks like it'll work.
it's all.
Still have to have it.
Right, like you jump on every pad.
At least you combine
Exactly. That's, no.
combine the
you're right,
efficiencies of 2 projects into one.
See that? Get rid of it even.
Exactly. Even if you spend a little bit more.
Well,
Yep, it's worth it.
it's still saving money.
April 1st, okay. It's Wednesday.
Is that a joke? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like.
April 1st. Let's do it.
When's that?
April 1st.
April 1st.
6 o'clock, same time,
Same time, same place.
same time. What's Joe gonna come up with next?
Motion we adjourn.
What's that?
I second it.
April 1st.
Thank you.
Are you a second?
Second.
I second it, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're making my notes for a year here. Home and read.
All right. Go home and read all my notes.
Oh, wow, I wanna go through this. It's really close to my brother on it.